All right. Part 2 of lesson 1.1, we are going to talk about finding x and y intercepts algebraically. So, how do we already know how to find x and y intercepts? What do we look at? A graph. Okay, we know how to find x and y intercepts by looking at a graph at where it crosses the x-axis and where it crosses the y-axis. But now we're going to say, what if we don't have a graph? Okay, if we don't have a graph, we obviously can't do that. So we are going to talk about how to find them algebraically. So we're going to start with, I'm going to make a little t-chart here, and I want you to do the same. We're going to talk about x-intercepts. And then on this side, I'm going to have y-intercepts. And I want you to make the same t-chart. Okay, so for x-intercepts, let's say we were looking at a graph and we said, okay, we have an x-intercept at x equals 2. Okay, how do I write that as a coordinate? 2, 0. Okay, what if I said, okay, there's also an x-intercept at x equals -1? It would be -1, 0. One more. What about if I had a x equals 6? What would that coordinate be? 6, 0. What is the trend happening on every single one?
0.
0 where, specifically? In the y spot, right? So underline these. Is that a coincidence? No, that's going to happen every single time we have an x-intercept, yes? Okay. So when we're looking for x-intercepts algebraically, we know that y has to equal 0. Write that down. Y has to equal 0, and I want you to star that. Okay. Every single time we're looking for a y-intercept, we have to have y equal, or sorry, every time we're looking for an x-intercept, we have to have y equal to 0. Okay, so little last thing for notes on this one, to find an x-intercept, okay, step 1 is you plug 0 in for y, and then the last step is you solve for x. All right, moving over to y-intercepts. Okay, again, I'm going to give you some examples here. If I have y equals 4, how do I write that as a intercept? 0, 4, good. If I had y equals -3, how do I write that as a y-intercept? 0, -3. And one more, if I had y equals 10, how do I write that as a y-intercept? 0, 10. What's the trend? 0's now in the x spot. So for y-intercepts, we know x has to equal 0. Star that. Okay. So to find a y-intercept, okay, what are we going to plug 0 in for? Plug 0 in for x, and then we are going to solve for y. Okay, do you notice finding x and y intercepts, you kind of do the opposite of what you would normally think? Okay, so for x-intercepts, we're plugging 0 in for y. For y-intercepts, we're plugging 0 in for x. Okay, and I'll explain why that is when we do an actual example. Okay. Do an extra example. So, let's try this out here. If I give you an example that is y equals the absolute value of x minus 3. Everyone write that down for me. Okay, we are going to find the x and y intercepts of this equation here. So we're going to follow what we did up above. So every time I do a problem finding x and y intercepts, I always make that t-chart. That'll remind me that I have to find both. Okay, so go ahead and make your t-chart. Okay, following our little, I'm going to call them blueprints up here. Okay, let's do x-intercept first. What is the first thing it tells us to find an x-intercept? Yeah, we know y equals 0, so I'm going to plug 0 in for that y value there. Okay, so what this turns into is 0 equals the absolute value of x minus 3. What does step 2 tell us to do? So for x, how do I get x by itself here? Add 3. Yep. So I have 3 equals the absolute value of x. Now, this one is a little weird compared to what you're going to see for the rest of the time. How do I get x by itself if it's in an absolute value? Have you ever been taught a way to do that? No. Okay, this is kind of guessing and checking. So what are some values that I could plug into here to get 3? I could plug -3. What else? There's one more. And +3. Yep. So our answers are -3 and +3. Those are our x-intercepts. Okay. So are we done with the problem though? No, we also have to do the y-intercept. So for y-intercept, how is that different? Right, we're going to plug 0 in for x this time. So now I'm going to take the 0, I'm going to plug it in for x. So this turns into y equals the absolute value of 0 minus 3. And then you just solve. What is the absolute value of 0? 0. What is 0 minus 3? Yep, so y equals -3.
How do you solve the opposite value of x?
This one over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, there's really no way to solve it. It's just kind of a guess and check. So we know that if we plug 3 into here, we know we're going to get 3 out because the absolute value of 3 is 3. Okay, same thing if I plug in -3 here, we're going to get 3 out just because that's how absolute value works, because absolute value is the distance away from 0. Okay, I'm not going to give you many examples with the absolute value one. It's going to be more x squared and linear. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. Okay, questions about that? Okay, what I'm going to tell you though is whenever you solve for x and y intercepts algebraically, it is going to follow the same process that we just went through every single time. Okay, so what I want you to do is look at example 2. Okay, and I want you to rewrite it because they didn't give you a very nice one. So rewrite it as g of x equals x squared minus 4. Write that there instead on example 2. G of x equals x squared minus 4. Okay. So again, we're looking for x and y intercepts. I'm going to ask you this. Do you see a y up there?
No.
No. Is it hidden anywhere? What, Gracie? Exactly. Whenever you see a g of x or a f of x or anything, that can always be written as y. So what I want you to do right away is rewrite this equation as y equals x squared minus 4. Okay, so whenever you see something like that, you can always treat it as a y. Okay, so let's look at this again together. If I ask you to find x-intercepts, what are we doing?
For y.
What are we plugging in for y?
0.
0. Yep, we know y equals 0. So if I plug 0 in for that y, we get what?
0. X squared minus 4.
Yep, 0 equals x squared minus 4. Once we have 0 plugged in, what do? We solve, right? Exactly. We add 4. So we have 4 equals x squared. How do we get x by itself if the x is squared? Square root, exactly. So if I take the square root of both sides, what happens? Everyone watch. What happens is the squared and the square root cancel. So I'm left with x equals the square root of 4. Okay. However, do we know what the square root of 4 is?
2.
It is 2. Is there another answer to that? To the square root of 4. If we take the square root of a positive number, we should have 2 answers. -2, exactly. Yep. So we have x equals 2 and x equals -2. What's going to help you remind you of that is if you ever have a squared, you're going to have 2 answers. Okay, maybe write that off to the side. X squared, you're going to have 2 answers. Okay, are we done with the problem? Nope, we got to do y-intercept. How do I start the y-intercept? X is 0 this time, yep. So if I plug that in, we get y equals what? 0 squared minus 4. Awesome. What is 0 squared? 0 minus 4 is negative 4. And then you're done. I'm going to ask you this. Out of the x and y intercepts, which one's easier? Y. Y is the correct answer. Why is y the correct answer? Why is y easier?
Because you can immediately get the square.
Right. Do you see how the x kind of just went away on both of the examples that we've done? That's going to happen every single time when you're trying to find the y-intercept. Okay? Do not read the directions. All I want you to do is use this equation right here. So that h of x equals 2x plus 10. I just want you to find the x and y intercepts of that equation there. Okay. Remember, to get you started, what can we treat this as? A y. Yep. So rewrite that equation. Y equals 2x plus 10. Okay. And remember, make your little t-chart. Find the x-intercepts and find the y-intercepts. Go for it. All right. When trying to find x-intercepts, what do we do? What does y have to equal? Y has to equal 0. So remember, plugging in 0 in for our y value here. So we get 0 equals 2x plus 10. Right. How to solve equations? We want to get x by itself. We need to subtract 10. So we get negative 10 equals 2x. Last step. Divide by 2. We get x equals negative 5. Now, totally fair that a lot of you did this also. But if I plugged 5 back into here, would I get 0? No, I would get 20. Okay, do I need this? No, just the negative 5. When is the only time we're going to get two answers?
When it's squared.
When it's squared. Okay. All right, what do we need to know for a y-intercept? X has to be 0. So if I use that same equation we started with, we get y equals 2 times what? 0 plus 10. What's 2 times 0? 0 plus 10. Y equals 10. Okay, I do not want you to do letter A. On example 4, I want you to find the x and y intercepts of f of x equals negative 2x minus 3. Okay, and remember, what does f of x turn to? Y. Yep. So find the x and y intercepts of y equals negative 2x minus 3. Go for it. All right, for x-intercepts, again, what are we doing here? Y equals 0. Y equals 0. When I say y equals 0, what does that mean I go to right away? Make y 0, literally. So we have 0 equals what? Negative 2x minus 3. From here, what do I do? Yeah, we want to get x by itself, so we're going to add 3. So we have 3 equals negative 2x. From here, what do I do? Do I divide by 3 or negative 2? Yep, always divide by what's with the x. Now, I don't care if you had your answer as negative 3 over 2, or what did some of you have? Yep. I'm okay with either of these. They mean the same thing. Okay? Y-intercept, what does that mean? X equals 0. So since x equals 0, what does that mean? Plug it in, right, for that. Y equals negative 2 times what? 0 minus 3. What's negative 2 times 0? 0 minus 3, which is negative 3. Good.